Hey folks, before we get started today, I want to talk about a film photography meetup that's happening on Thursday, September 26th in Indianapolis, Indiana, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Metazoa Brewing Company. This is put on by Roberts and Used Photo Pro. And we announced this previously, but now we have new, updated information. So if you show up at the Metazoa Brewery on September 26th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., it will be a film photography meetup. You'll have like tons of people there sporting their favorite film camera, but you'll also have Ilford Photo, Harman Photo, Kodak, Cinestill, your favorite film photography project, Flick Film, Revolog, Double Film, and get this, when have you ever heard this before? Pentax. Never. You've never heard Pentax. Like, hey, what? Hey, it's a meetup. Pentax is going to be there. What? Anyhow, I'm in the studio today with what I call the film photography trio, the gang that's going to be at this event, which is myself, Michael Rosso, Ms. Paige Davis. Hi, Paige.
Hi, Michael.
And Matt Marash.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're going to Indianapolis, and we're gonna be there.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great. And Paige, you're probably gonna be like, a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, I listen to FPP. Who are you? But the fact is, you've been on FPP more than once, maybe more than twice, maybe 3, 4, 5 times.
This is true.
It is. It is.
For the hardcore FPP listeners that go way back, they've heard some Paige Davis segments.
So I just want folks to know that this event is happening. It's upcoming, and if you're in the area, please do stop by. It'd be a lot of fun. The important news of today, and today is, by the way, September 5th, 2024, and the reason we're having this special podcast, on this podcast, we're going to have a special movie review. Why are we dropping this podcast today? Well, today, right now, Harman has announced that Harman Phoenix Color 200 is now available in 120 format, which is, for me at least, someone who's been shooting a lot of Harman Phoenix, exciting news. But it's not for the reason like people are going to think. People probably think, oh my God, Mike wants to get out his debonair. Mike wants to get his Mamiya, pull his Mamiya M645 off the shelf. No. Mike wants to send his 120 Harman Phoenix to Owen to slit and to perf for 126. 120 shooters. I mean, this is great news. Matt, can you fill us in, because you were handpicked as an early shooter?
Yes,
as was Pal Trevely.
Yeah, it was exciting to get that announcement in my inbox, followed quickly by an anonymous package at the door from Harman about testing out some of the Phoenix 200. So initially they'd sent me some in 35, and that's because of our good buddy Matt over at Harman. He was Matt Perry. He was super stoked about getting some into the hands of FPP in 35 millimeter, and even at that time he's like, hey, I know you don't really shoot that much 35, but just hang in there, we're working on some stuff. And this was kind of the follow-up to that promise. So it's pretty neat. I've only processed a few of my rolls. I do have a couple more to go through and try to send to different labs to see how they handle it, but it's just so special to get a different option in those different film sizes. That was, I think, everybody's biggest question when they announced it in 35. Great, where's 120, right? Every time something good gets announced, they want to know when the better thing is, or
right,
or when's the next one already, as if it wasn't already this monumental task to make it happen. But Phoenix 200 is, you can expect a very similar look to the 35 millimeter. I think there's some noticeable improvements. Some of that might be due to the fact that we're using medium format, which is more film, so you have more surface area. So it's going to appear a teensy bit sharper. It's going to appear a little bit smoother because you're not magnifying it as much as a smaller piece of 35 millimeter film. And there's just a lot of older, unserviced cameras that will take this. So we're not driving along sprockets, so we can load it into a 100-year-old pocket folder camera. We can slap it into some film holders for large format cameras. You can do the unforspoken, which is what Mike just talked about with 126, 127. You can do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. If you could purchase these slitters online. If you're a 127 roll film shooter,
Yep.
there's a slitter for it. I mean, by buying the larger roll film, there's a lot you can do with it if you're a DIY person.
Yeah.
You can slit it down to 16 and put it in your Minolta 16 camera. There's so much to do.
Yeah, so it really just opens up the space for way more creativity, and I think that's still the shooter for Harman Phoenix, is someone that really wants to. They're getting creative with it. They look at the options that are out there, and they're like, okay, I want to try something a little bit different. And I noticed this time around, again, it might just be the bigger surface area. I'm not as I don't see as much of like the crazy like halation stuff as I did last time, but that also might be because labs as well as myself were better at scanning this stuff now. Because do you remember the original Phoenix when it came out in 35? That was everybody's like the quote unquote controversy was, oh, this looks bad if you scan it this way or if you have a lab do automatic scans. But it's been out in the wild for a while, so we kind of have it down. It is a pretty cool looking film.
I'm thrilled. Besides my jokiness about slitting it to shoot 126 cameras, it really is a wonderful snapshot film. So, I love it. I do. And I think it's the most unique, exciting film stock to be released in the last few years. Give it a chance.
Definitely. And it's purchasing this film shows your support of continued R&D, like real R&D on a fresh film. And I think Harman is the only one we can say is like doing that right now.
Absolutely.
So it's worth supporting.
And in talking about 120, which is, a camera that I always forget about and I don't talk about enough, which is the FPP Debonair.
I remind you of it every time a new film comes out.
And I'm always like, oh my, because we've been selling Debonair for 10 years now.
Oh my God.
So we bought out a warehouse full of Debonairs, and I guess I just didn't realize how big that warehouse was because I asked Justin, I said, hey, can you go like downstairs? How many Debonairs we have? I figured it's going to be like, oh, there's only 20 left. 900.
Oh my God. Wow.
So this fall, we're going to be doing a Debonair kind of like promotion that includes some film, Debonair in a roll of Wolfman, Debonair in a roll of Phoenix, Debonair Deluxe gift box, Phoenix, Wolfman, Frankenstein, a whole kit, because it is going to be the gift giving time very soon.
It is.
And I don't know, and I'm not just saying this because we have a warehouse full of it. The Debonair is really a fun gift to give to a film shooter because not many people own a Debonair.
No, there's still it's a very small world in the niche of film photography, but to someone that has not played around with medium format or even a lot of different films, it is just a breath of fresh air. So it's fun to play with.
So that's the story, folks. Of course, you can find Harman Phoenix just about anywhere that sells film. The Film Photography Project store, or filmphotographystore.com, has it in stock right now. And that's, I think, for me at least, the fun part, because today's the release date, and I can't speak for B&H, Adorama, or any other online retailer, but those folks, I love those folks, by the way, but they don't think about film 24/7. They're running big businesses.
Yeah.
So will they have Harman Phoenix and 120 on street like right now? Do they? I don't know. It may not be a priority. It's priority for us.
It's yeah.
Yeah. So you know where you can get it, folks.
Bring me your film when you're done, and we'll find out what that eye of yours can see.
You have so much to share with me.
Now.
Hey, folks, we're back. I'm really happy we have our Hollywood correspondent, Paige Davis, here. And this is first, seriously, this is first, hopefully, of many segments. Of course, always leave feedback, podcast at filmphotographyproject.com. There have been films in the past. There are a lot of films with movie cameras or still cameras in them, tons. We're like, oh, did you see Joe Pesci shooting with the blah, blah, blah camera or whatever? But there aren't that many films, Hollywood films, that are about film photography or film photographers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we kind of missed the boat. Like, we didn't really cover Kodachrome.
I think we talked about it.
Talked
after
about,
the fact,
like, you know, but we didn't bring in our Hollywood correspondent. So, Paige, what's the story? What's the film?
So, a month or two ago, Gracie Strawn of Vanquish Media Group reached out to the Film Photography Project about an upcoming release that they were marketing, and it is called Camera, appropriately enough. So, Camera actually is currently available. The street date was July 23, 2024. And the big star of Camera is Beau Bridges, that I think most recently, the film that people might recognize he was in was The Descendants from 2011. And prior to that, perhaps Michael and I would more recognize The Fabulous Baker Boys from 1998, which was very big for that year. So, yes, so Camera stars Beau Bridges. It's directed by Jay Silverman, who had previously directed Saving Paradise. And it's currently available on YouTube, Apple, Amazon, and Fandango. And at present, it is a pay-to-own/rent, I believe, model. And in the future, may be available on advertising revenue sites as well. So to get us started, from the press release, the official synopsis for Camera is: Camera is a heartwarming story of loss, hope, and healing that follows Oscar, a 9-year-old boy who cannot speak, who has just moved with his widowed mom to a struggling fishing town. Picked on and bullied, nobody realizes that Oscar sees great beauty where others see only despair. Nobody, that is, until a broken camera brings him together with Eric, that's Beau Bridges, an eccentric old repairman, and an unlikely friendship develops. Under Eric's mentorship, Oscar finds his voice through photography, and in doing so, heals a wounded community.
I was gonna say, "Aw," because it really is like
It's going for the heartstrings.
yes.
It absolutely 100% is. So, of course, we have all watched Camera at this point, and I get to voice my impressions of it. So here we go. This is a very intimate film that is tackling some very big issues with extremely solid performances across the board, and also get out your box of tissues, because this movie will pull at your heartstrings. And I made it approximately 75% through the film before I just started to choke up. So definitely, this is, know what you're getting in for here. And while vintage cameras and the joy of analog photography is a very, very big theme in the film, the film also explores the relationship between your blood relation family and the family that you choose for yourself.
Your found family, yeah.
Exactly. And it's also a really kind of thoughtful and provocative look at the economic stressors some small towns and rural America are going through, where generations of families, prospered in trades that are just no longer feasible. They're no longer a viable way of life. And, how that can impact, the community and the individuals involved. So, it has a lot of nostalgia for both film photography and for, some ways of life that may, be dying out slowly or quickly in America. But there's also an understanding that change is inevitable, and it can be good and a positive motive for growth. So this is a movie for people who appreciate classic storytelling. There is no CGI in this movie. There's no frenetic editing. This is, your characters it's grounded in recognizable characters, and it has clear messages about shared human experiences and empathy. So, I found it really refreshing As much as I also appreciate big budget Hollywood films, it's very nice to just sit down with something that unfolds, traditionally, more slowly, and with showing and not telling, which is very key to this. You get a very good grasp of the different characters and the change and growth of everyone involved. So, I thought it was a really, really well-produced, solid, independent film that if you are a still photographer, if you're into still photography or even motion picture film photography, I think it'll have a lot to say to you.
Oh, there's definitely a lot of eye candy in terms of the ensemble of cameras that you can see just in the background, and of course the mainstay TLR camera. That's kind of the through line for all of the storytelling throughout the movie. So, it's definitely one to catch if you're someone that is constantly just looking out for all those little film camera Easter eggs in your films. I'm always that guy that goes onto Twitter or X after a film to see if I missed any of the cameos of a film camera in there. Yeah,
I think that the folks out there, you folks listening, I think you will enjoy it because we received a lot of positive feedback for the Ed Harris Kodachrome movie, directed by Mark Rosso, by the way.
No relation.
No relation. So I think folks out there really like it. I really think Mark O'Brien's going to like it.
Yeah, we haven't heard his take on it yet.
No,
yeah.
Mark is always super positive on hey, I saw that Kodachrome. Oh, I loved it. Also a big fan of West Side Story.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the new one or the old new one, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, folks, check it out. Camera. But, not changing subjects. We're talking about media. Paige, we have you in the hot seat. We really need to discuss something we never discuss, which is Paige Davis here at the FPP, behind the scenes. So when you see the cool new monster film come out, Paige Designs is the designer, puts the artwork together, and there's also the sister company to FPP, which is Film Media, which is our scanning, motion picture scanning. And FPP listeners don't know anything about that. Like, they don't know the connection between FPP and, let's say, Moon Age Daydream, the David Bowie film, which is now public information. Because a lot of the super special projects we work on are like, NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Like, you can't say so-and-so's here or, this, Is there any exciting stuff we can't talk about?
Okay, so firstly, folks, I had no idea any of this was coming, so I am most definitely
Is this cool?
In the hot seat. This is absolutely fine. So, hi.
We don't celebrate enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the day to day here at FPP.
It's taken for granted.
Yeah. So I think the people we're speaking to are the most romantic about FPP.
They want to peek behind the curtain. Yeah,
they are, and it's hard for me to be excited about anything except what I'm working on, which is stuff no one doesn't care about, like 126 or the 126 plastic Nomad camera that Kmart released in 1975. But while I'm like fussing over like ridiculous, not that it's ridiculous, because 126 is important to three people: myself, Ian Fleming, and Owen McCafferty. Ian Fleming's a listener in the UK.
Yep.
Who actually started perfing himself and sent us samples.
Doing really good work with it, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I never
inspirational.
discussed stuff like I swear, Matt, like stuff like when you came in, I'm like, oh, look at this music video stuff that came in. It's like I don't like everyone else in the world will be excited.
Yep.
But it's just I don't get excited about it.
Okay.
You kind of understand where I'm coming from. It's just I'm excited about the process of like restoring and scanning.
Sure. Well, I think to your point, the reason that film media is not as widely discussed is in part because, again, to your point, the projects that we take on through film media are often we are unable due to these non-disclosure agreements and various other understandings in place, able to really discuss them while they're ongoing. So Film Media works with a number of archives as well as home media labels. And consequently, when you are preparing, say, for example, a 1970s vintage cult film from, Italy or Thailand or, other areas of the world, and that particular project has an upcoming release date that has been booked in advance, much as release dates are in the film photography world. You don't discuss it until the project is
it's already out.
Exactly,
Yeah.
until everything's greenlit and it's about to be released. And,
We're also we're a humble
bunch
bunch here. We really are.
Well, yeah. But I am glad you brought up Moon Age Daydream, because that was really instrumental. And to talk about jumping in the deep end of the swimming pool.
Moon Age Daydream was would you say the pin that kind of, like, it happened at a time when there was a transformation going on here, in the sense that all the motion picture work that I've done in the past has been at Deluxe, which was in Northville, New Jersey. And like in 2016, they announced that they're just closing up the New Jersey shop. So some of these projects came to us, as Dave came to us. Dave Northrup is our colorist, came to us by just circumstances.
Confluence of exactly just a number of things happening at the same time, and a number of opportunities that arose out of that. And frankly, and people, this is going to sound like I'm looking for a raise, but I promise it's absolutely genuine. And your entrepreneurial spirit that saw these opportunities, and we sat down, we discussed it, we ran the numbers, and you said, I'm gonna gamble here, and the gamble has really paid off. So.
It is the reason why we're able to launch our FPP film, develop, scan,
Motion anything,
or
Absolutely.
the idea also, Owen McCafferty suggesting, like, there's no double 8 film, there's no double perf 16 film. It kind of all came together at the same time, like a little whirlpool of like cool stuff. So while we don't really talk about the corporate stuff, because I really do think of the higher end clients that bring their projects to Film Media, it's not really FPP related, but it's under the same roof, and it's really none of my business to, mention it on FPP. So I'd sound like a braggart.
Yeah, but it is the engine that kind of keeps everything going too. So it's important to acknowledge.
I will tell you, there are a lot of folks who listen to the FPP work on a lot of cool stuff, and they don't talk about it either. Because they're cool. And a shout out to Bob Furmanak from 3D Archive. And he needs to be on this show.
100%.
So he is a champion. Like, for example, the Abbott and Costello show, the 2 seasons, 1950s. I've seen it growing up as a kid. You always see the smeary tape master that was created in 1980. But Bob is a champion, so he, along with the Lou Costello family, found the original camera negatives and went back to the original materials to put out a Blu-ray, the Abbott and Costello show. Folks, you could find it on Blu-ray, and remastered both seasons because it's worthy of that, and that's really cool.
Yeah, these are dedicated, passionate individuals.
Yeah.
And their passions are their livelihoods. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to be part of it.
All right.
That's great.
That's pretty exciting. I have 2 letters I want to share on this particular show.
Ooh.
I'm going to have Matt open one.
Okay.
And Paige open one.
Okay.
I'm excited about both of these because there's just so much love put into, like, everything about them. Like, people are spending time. Oh no, that's Paige's.
Oh,
Matt's getting a special one.
It's specific. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. This is me pulling the card out of the envelope. Small card project. Okay. Guys! And that's with an exclamation mark.
All caps.
Yeah. Love your podcast and YouTube channel. Just wanted to share some printed images with you, all shot on film, Kodak 400TX and Kodak Portra 160. And this is from John, spelled Jon. And inside we have, okay, so John Davis from South Lake, Texas, has sent these absolutely beautiful. Here, shall we pass them around?
Yeah.
On the
table?
back is where they were shot, which is like the attention to detail.
This is like a small, this is like a little show edition of prints. This is great. It's like,
Isn't
and it's
that
in this
beautiful?
little portfolio, little sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very nice presentation. So we
Wow.
have some beautiful black and white photos of some rural areas of Texas here.
Yeah, these
Yes.
are great. Here you go, Mike.
And then we have, this is beautiful. Look at
Oh, we
that
got some.
color.
Oh, there's the portrait. Yeah. Wow.
This ties into, so this is called Small Card Project Issue Number 1. The fact that John's calling it issue ties
It's
into like
a
a whole, like a zine.
or an edition. Yeah.
It's an edition, but not a zine. But there are a lot of small zines out there as well.
There is.
Yeah.
It's a whole scene. Yeah.
The whole zine scene.
Yeah, these are lovely, and the subjects that John is taking care of. So these are landscapes and architecture, and they all look to be in, I'd say, the 30s through the 60s, maybe.
And as much as I'm a sucker for black and white, I really like John's color work too.
That's beautiful stuff.
These are really well done. I'd
Right.
wonder if he's printing all these himself, or if he's got like a small publisher he's working with. This is cool.
It's nice to know that like these scenes are still like the scenes like this looks like a scene out of like a 1975,
Mm-hmm.
like a service station 1975. They're not going to last forever.
No,
No,
but they're
they're hanging in there.
they're a hot subject amongst film photographers, though. Like, when there's a new film, you're gonna see an awful lot of gas stations on film. And I'm not saying that ironically, that is a really popular subject matter, but this is done really well, and I would say John really captures like a, I don't know, kind of a timeless look out of it.
100%.
I really appreciate like folks looking at photographs from a joyful perspective, because if you can get worn out going on Reddit because someone posts like the gas station at night.
Yes,
and
it's
you
not
get
that.
all this like hate, like another gas station. Oh, shocking, a gas station. It's like, dude, I don't see you out in the middle of the night shooting
just
that
have
gas.
fun.
Yeah,
Appreciate this.
Can't you just enjoy the glow of that amazing glow coming off that Shell station?
I think there's two things people can do to avoid that. One, interact with people in person more often. I think sometimes we simplify it and say go touch grass. That helps. But other times just hang out with people that are just getting into film, and you kind of realize why you got into it and enjoy it, and it's like, oh yeah, this is fun. I have fun doing this.
Yep. Before I give Matt his letter, here's a shout out to Garland Camera, Kirk at Garland Camera. By the way, FPP is not sponsored. We don't accept any sponsorships. It's a very organic community. Kirk reached out to us a while ago and said, "Hey, can you guys have any use for 35 millimeter canisters and the inner canisters, the metal?"
Okay.
I mean, all of FPP film. If you're shooting FPP hand roll film, all of that film and the outer canisters, that comes from the darkroom.com or it comes from Garland Camera. So I'm really happy Kirk sent me a note, because at Garland Camera it's a place where you could walk into and get your film the same day. And that's something I don't even think about anymore. And if you're lucky enough to be in the vicinity of a camera store that offers that service,
So nice.
So he says on the northeast side of Dallas, we've expanded west to Fort Worth to do what we have enjoyed and become accustomed to: film processing in a day. So the new location, it's called Photographics, 2712 West 6th Street in Fort Worth, Texas. Sadly, John Fideli's not here. I can't mention the word Texas without him like, yeah, doing his, because you've been here when he's done it. I should call him up.
Should.
Uncle Mike.
Hey, John, you're on the FPP.
I am. Oh, you're in the car with my kids.
Okay. I just want to know one thing from you, John.
What, Mike?
What do you do and say when I'm reading a letter and, it's from Texas?
Oh, yeah! Why, you got a letter from Texas?
From Kirk from Garland Camera.
Oh, no kidding.
They opened a new shop in Fort Worth, Texas. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
All right, that's cool.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. I'm driving around. I'm on my way. I'm looking for a record store, and I'm taking a couple pictures on the way of that nice Jekyll film stock like you gave me.
Oh, we didn't talk about Jekyll. Shh. Gosh.
Huh?
We're sitting here talking about everything else. We're not even talking about our own film.
Well, you need to change the subject.
Okay. We're going to do that right now. All right, we got to go.
All right, I'll see you there.
Okay, bye. Can you believe we didn't even talk about our own new film? God. Here's the letter for Matt. This is a fun one.
Oh, all right. This is from Manila, Ontario. Oh, very smiley. It's already
Now, what I love about these two letters on this show is that there's just a lot of, care put into these.
Whoa.
In a different kind of way.
We got a Star Trek The Next Generation card?
Yes.
This is awesome. How long have they been holding on to this? All right. Whoa! What just poured out? Oh, my God.
There's all these, stickers. Now, these might be, I don't know, these might be custom printed stickers.
I think these are. There's a lot of there's a lot of wacky stuff on. Okay. Really funny and meme-like stickers have just poured out of this vintage Star Trek The Next Generation. Yeah, this is 1993. This card's been kicking around waiting for 30 years for someone to read it. Greetings, FPP gang. I want to personally write you an analog letter to say thank you for bringing back an amazing selection of 8mm films. Oh, you have a dedicated... That's perfect. Dedicated motion shooter. I've been a digital filmmaker for 10 plus years, millennial here, and always wanted to shoot on film. I was very excited to return to school at 26 in the late 2000s for journalism, but was disappointed when my photojournalism professor held up his MacBook and said, "This is it now." Fast forward to the dawn of the pandemic. I had a lot of time on my hands during lockdown and needed a new hobby and thought, what a great time to cross off shooting film from my bucket list. I'm a member of the Liaison of Independent Filmmakers. Hey, LIFT. Isn't Noah a member of LIFT?
Maybe.
Over there? Analog Resurgence? Yeah, in Ontario. So he's a member of LIFT as well, and signed up for their workshops on small gauge filmmaking. I highly recommend it to anybody interested in learning 8 and 16mm filmmaking and eco-friendly processing.
Beautiful.
Lately, I've been shooting FPP's Cine 8 double negative 100 film and developing it in Caffenol. That's a nice combo. Yeah. I'm very excited and anticipating a package from you this week with my first roll of Cine 8 Color. We spell color with a U in Canada.
Okay.
The negative 40 daylight and C41 development.
C41.
Maybe one day, when budget allows, I can splurge on testing out a roll of FPP Color Positive 100D. It looks beautiful. Mm-hmm. Anyways, just want to say thank you for everything that you're doing for the film community, and I appreciate all the cool stickers you send with every package. Here are some stickers for you. Cheers from Canada, Matthew. Let's see. P.S. Has anybody ever told John Fideli he sounds like Jason Alexander?
I was trying to lead the way. We needed a leader, someone to lead the way to safety.
Dozens since we started the FPP, right? We've received.
I can hear it sometimes, yeah. But once you meet John Fideli, that totally disappears.
Yeah.
So I think it's for somebody that hasn't seen or met John Fideli in the flesh. Yeah.
This is the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time someone has in a letter saying he sounds like Jason Alexander, and it's always John. I mean, people mention we have accents, but it's always John as Jason Alexander.
Bozo?
No.
B-O-Z-O.
Sorry.
You've never heard of Bozo the Clown?
No.
This is quite the eclectic mix of stickers. There's a lot of Simpsons stickers. There's a few internet meme stickers I recognize. Yeah, just some fun, totally rad stickers. I feel like the amount of Simpsons stickers really fits in with the rainbow 90s vibe of the TNG collector's card too.
This is a 1990s
letter altogether. Yeah.
Beautiful.
This is awesome. Matt, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
I'm going to be like, because I frequently wear just a black t-shirt. So I'm going to be wearing like a sticker, on my t-shirt every day. And I look forward to what Carlos says. Yeah.
I think what's nicest about this card is I knew it was an old card right away, because like they make new cards like this, but you can tell it's like printed well.
Yeah.
And it was like an actual color process.
New printing's different.
It looks different. Yeah. You could tell right away.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, thanks a lot. So that's the story, folks. We're going to save Jekyll Hyde for our next show. Jekyll Hyde, by the way, is our new Halloween film, 2024, as well as a few other announcements regarding different sizes of existing monster films.
Did you think 10 years ago that it would be this crazy with all the different FPP films?
No, it was so different, and I forget how different it was. It was different in the sense that the labels on the film were just Avery labels in the inkjet printer.
Mm-hmm.
They were just little Avery labels.
Yep.
And it was just, I don't know, organic, right? It's just, Retrochrome, we rolled out in 2015, like no one cared. No one cared
for the
at
first
all.
8 years.
Yeah, no one cared. There was so much of it, we didn't know what to do with it. And then it blew up. Retrochrome, of course, is expired Ektachrome that took on a life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And people like the great folks at Roberts who were carrying it, they just couldn't get enough of it.
So cool.
But that's what made it so special, because it was, when something truly is limited and not just like a marketing campaign, that is special.
It's fun.
Yeah. So what else? Anything else from you guys? Except, I guess we look forward to meeting back up again at the Roberts
the end of the month.
Film Photography Meetup.
It's going to be great.
Paige, thanks so much. We have to do this again. Podcast at filmphotographyproject.com, folks. We'd love to hear from you. This has been a little bit different, this show. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
And we got to hear from John as well, which is always great.
Always a pleasure.
So, all right, folks.
Bye.
See you soon.